Okay folks, welcome to another video, the Pico-8. What the bloody hell is that, you're thinking? And I was thinking exactly the same thing. This is a thing that I was kind of aware of, but I didn't really know what it was until fairly recently. Now, to let you understand, the Pico-8 is a console, but, and it's a big but, it's software only. It doesn't actually exist in hardware. There is no, you can't go and buy a Pico-8 machine. But that is the beauty of it. This runs in Windows, it runs in Android, and in the case of what I'm playing it on, this is Windows, I should say. I've also got it running on my RGB30 little handheld. Now it's a, like I said, it's a virtual console. If you were to try and kind of timeline it, in other words, where would this have fitted in the sort of history of computers and video games and what have you? Graphically wise, you can see here this is a Alien Breed. It's kind of sort of NES type, but it's the lovely thing about it. It's obviously quite a simplistic sort of like software, whatever you want to call it, or operating system, but it's got the grunt of modern hardware. So if you're playing this on a PC, obviously the PC's not going to slot whatever, and it's just got some really nice little effects. The games virtually all play at 60 frames per second. I don't think this video is getting recorded at 60 frames per second, unfortunately. But it's bloody lovely. It's really nice, and I'll let you see it later on. It has all the games that I'm aware of. I think there might be one or two are completely free. That was Alien Breed, by the way. Here's Beam Rider. This is excellent. I mean, Beam Rider's a fantastic game, and this is an absolutely awesome version. Yeah. Oh, listen to that sound. How good is that? How smooth does this look? It is bloody brilliant. Yeah, anyway, getting back on what I was saying. The games are, 99% of the games are completely free. And the wonderful thing is, the sort of front end, which you saw at the very start, it allows you to load up. It's like a store, where you can just go in and download any game. It doesn't cost you a penny. There are one or two games that you can find online that cost. I've not actually managed to find any. There was one, Scramble. Now, for whatever reason, that game no longer exists. Don't know why. If anyone knows why, let me know. But 99% of the games, all the games that you're going to see here today, are completely free. And the wonderful thing about them, they're quite literally, 5, 6, 7K in size. They're tiny. So to download a game is like a second. Yeah, and if you're off a certain slant, you can also program for this thing. I think there's certain subroutines which they can kind of use. So it's supposed to be quite an easy sort of platform to program from. It's not something I'm going to do. You will see like some of the explosions in some of the games. You will see that in later on in other games. But yeah, I just wanted to make you guys aware of it, because I wasn't really aware of the Pico-8. I'd heard of it, but I didn't fully understand what it was. But the fact that you can run it on Windows, I says, the best way to run it for me is playing it on the RGB30. The games are just perfectly suited to that. So there you go, you can exit it. Here's Berserk.
Intrude drawer. Intrude drawer.
Whilst it's not a 100% faithful version of Berserk, it probably plays a bit too fast. Look at it, bloody brilliant. And it's even got speech as well, albeit it's a bit crackly. But Look at this. If you like little fast-paced arcade games that are just pick up and play, then this thing is what you want to get. And the great thing that I completely forgot to mention, the Pico-8 software for Windows, I think it's 15 quid. And then you're getting all these games for free. A lot of the games also save high scores, which is a nice little touch. Now, by the way, you'll be thinking, wait a minute, why do I need one of these when I can just play MAME? The games that I've picked are all arcade conversions. There are tens of thousands. I think the last time I looked there was like 12,000 games. There are lots of games. Most of the games are original, so you don't have to play these games. I'm just letting you see conversions to classic games. So this is Booty, which was released by Firebird Software back in the day. It says at the bottom, beautiful demake. Now a demake is usually when you take a modern game and you put it on the old hardware. Like I think they made a demake of Halo for the Atari 2600. But I would say this is actually a remake, because I mean, this probably looks nicer, certainly more colourful than the original. But these games are just enormously fun to play, they really are. And this is because they're really slick to play. There's no slowdown in any of these games. They're enormous fun. They really are. Am I going to get to the end of the first level? I think I might. There we go. Level complete. Yeah, Boulder Run. For copyright reasons, you can see what they've done here is they've changed the name slightly. But how good is that? I mean, it's Boulder Dash, and like I said, because it plays, I think it plays faster than the original games. It's just wonderful, and it's even got the little sort of trail behind Rockford. That's what I was trying to say. It's like, you know, the spec of the hardware is kind of like an NES, but a supercharged NES. It's got the extra grunt. I don't know how many colours this thing's got. I would imagine it's probably infinite. This game needs absolutely no introduction, so I'm not going to introduce it. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this game, but I've got to say this particular version of it is enormous fun to play. Great music, perfect controls, it's fun. That's what I would say about this system. It's enormous fun. If you're bored of playing Call of Duty and all that bollocks, pay 15 quid, get yourself Pico-8 and enjoy an infinite amount of games. And it's as simple as loading it up and then running it. I'm quite sure over the next few years we're going to see more and more sort of taxing games getting made. You know, I'm sure we're going to see. I would imagine Doom is probably out for it. The only slight problem I found with the store that they've got is you need to know the name of a game to be able to find it. You know, and if you don't know that, then you end up just having to kind of scroll through lists and lists of games. Though it does have screenshots of them, so it gives you a kind of idea. But what I did was I just typed into Google top arcade conversions for the Pico-8. And again, this, yeah, it's not got the trackball, but how authentic is this? Some of the, I think that the resolution, yeah, that's the thing. In fact, the resolution of this is less than the NES. Is it 180 by 180? Something like that. It's not high, but it gives every game a quite a kind of, I don't like this term, but it gives it a kind of cute look. It just works. There we go, we couldn't not feature this. I'm so surprised to see this game, because I'm not going to take credit for this game getting made, but really up until I started playing this game as a labour of hatred, you never heard this game getting mentioned. And I'm not saying that I was the one that put China Minor on the map, but I think I definitely gave the game a lot of exposure that it never ever got. But yeah, I was surprised to see this game, and it's a great version. It's not 100% faithful to the arcade, to the original. It's more playable, it's easier, but yeah, awesome. The timings are different, so you have to try and learn the timings compared to playing the C64 version. But look at the little particle effects. It's all these little effects, the way that kind of platform just dissolved. It's lovely. And it has little, I mean, it times you to complete each level. I think you can actually start on any level that you want. And I say, just because it plays that much kind of slicker, it just makes it's more responsive. Ultimately, it just makes it a nicer game to play. Love the music as well. Yeah, see, the timing's slightly different. That jump. This is going to be one of the most fiendish games ever written, Contra. It's so difficult. Yeah, it's just really hard, this. Now I did record this video probably about 6 weeks ago. I just never got round to actually doing the sort of talk over. I would imagine there's probably been new games released since I recorded this. Yeah, what's not to love? Defender. This is pretty good. Obviously, Defender has to be played with keys. It's got to have the proper joystick controls. It doesn't have it in this. It's just left and right, up and down. But you know, it's captured the essence and the feel of the Fender, and it's got the sound effects and graphics to kind of back it up as well. And it's got the kind of luminosity. The colours are really vibrant and bright, which does give the kind of, it helps to kind of recreate the authentic sort of arcade experience. Yep, this one again needs absolutely no introduction, and obviously for the thing about copyright, they've renamed it slightly. Probably slightly easier than the original. But again, look at it. How can you not like that? Excuse me. Yeah, it doesn't play the sort of the movement of the I don't know what they call them, the fireballs, whatever it is not the same as arcade, so it does kind of play on its own terms, but you know what, it's capturing the essence and the playability, the look and the sound of the arcade. Yeah, I'm in two minds about this one. Drop Zone. You might have noticed the guy Paul Hammond. He seems to be he's prevalent. Not prevalent. He's out there. He's done a lot of games. I can't think of the exact phrase, but he's programmed a lot of these arcade conversions. This is his take on Drop Zone. I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of it. There's no inertia that there was in the original, and because it plays kind of so fast, it's, yeah, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. It's still, I mean, it's still a fun game to play, but yeah, not a big fan of that one. This, on the other hand, obviously based on Galaga, but it does its own twist. This is, to my mind, this is probably one of the best games on it that I've seen. Fast, it's colourful. There's a lot going on. Sound effects are great as well. Another one by Paul Hammond. This would actually be the perfect sort of platform for Jeff Minter. I would love to see him do some stuff in this. Obviously, to the uninitiated people out there, this is Grid Runner, which was one of Jeff Minter's first games. Yeah, this is a kind of take on Space Invaders. Yeah, there's so many. Like I said, there's so many games like this. Not all of them are brilliant. You know, you can't expect that, and considering you're getting them for absolutely nothing, you can't really complain. But you know, it's an interesting little take on Space Invaders. I mean, this one's not got any animation or anything, so it's probably one of the less better ones, shall we say, but and this next one, no guesses here, Kung Fu Master. Again, there's just something utterly fantastic about the little sprites. I've not seen any like Street Fighter 2 clones yet. I'm sure it probably is out there. Ah, bollocks. But yeah, if this Pico-8 does pique your interest, see what I did there, then yeah, go and get it. Grab it for Windows, Android, whatever. If you do happen to have an RGB 30 or something like that, then get it on that, because you know that kind of platform to me is what this thing was made for. Another Paul Hammond game. I'll need to actually try and look him up and see if I can maybe get him on the channel. Now, for a game that used a trackball to control it, this plays surprisingly well. I noticed some of the explosions weren't appearing there, which was a bit weird. Yeah, while you guys are watching this, I'm just going to have a little look and see if I can get in touch with this guy. Ah, right, he's on Twitter. Right, excellent. I'm going to try and hit this guy up. But yeah, Missile Command, absolutely superb. Another Paul Hammond one. This is really good. Ah, bugger. Right, I don't know how to. I can follow him, but I can't see my message him, unfortunately. Yeah, Moon Patrol. Great version. It's not a game I've ever actually played. I mean, I've played the main version, which is obviously the arcade one, but I've never actually seen a proper arcade. I've never seen an arcade cabinet for that. Right, next one, Pico-Man. Yep, you know what this one is. Now, this game oddly had no sound. I'm sure there's probably are complete versions of Pac-Man, but yeah, it's pretty faithful looking. Don't know what John Studley would make of it. The thing about this version, which I don't like, apart from the lack of sound, is the scrolling. I understand that on small screens like this, it's inevitable you couldn't really have Pac-Man. You couldn't fit the proper level in a single screen. But the whole point of Pac-Man is you need to be able to see where the ghosts are at all time, so you can plan your move. And obviously, when you've got a scrolling game like this, you don't have that ability. I mean, the Game Boy was another system that because of the small screen and sort of low resolution, they had to kind of do that. It still makes for a fun game, but as far as like replicating the arcade experience accurately, then I don't think it really works. Actually, mentioning the Game Boy, I think the Pico-8 is, if Nintendo had brought out an enhanced Game Boy, a turbocharged Game Boy, it might have been the Pico-8. Now this one, another Paul Hammond game. This is fantastic. This is Phoenix. You may notice the explosion. I've seen that animation used a few times. I don't know if it's exactly the same animation. Like I said, I'm going to dig in and see if I can get a contact for Paul, because I would love to have him in the channel. I'd love to talk to him about this. Obviously, he's only one of many, but he's quite prolific. You can tell one thing, this guy likes his, no, he doesn't like, he loves his classic arcade games. Because he's nailed it. Yeah, look at that. How cool is that? Like I says, he's stuck religiously to the original, but he's just given it his own wee kind of tweak. He's put some glorious effects. Of course, if I do get him on, I'll need to think of a few games I want him to convert. He's done Berserk. You know what I would love to see? I've got a good friend, Nick Sherman, Arlasoft. He's done some utterly fantastic games for the Commodore 64. I would love to see him make a few games for this system. Yeah, that's an awesome version. Another Paul Hammond one. Now, I've never really been a fan of Q*bert. It's a very frustrating game. It doesn't take any prisoners. The problem being is, because you're jumping diagonally, control systems on home versions has never been great. You've got to hold the joystick at a particular angle, and it just makes for, unless it's done really well, it makes for a frustrating game. But I've got to say, Paul has knocked this out the park. Look at it, it looks bloody awesome, and it plays really well. And yet again, another Paul Hammond one, Sticks. This is one of the sort of the most basic arcade games you could ever play, and it is brilliant. It is really addictive. This one is quite difficult because you're being pursued round the idea is to fill in the screen, and you're being chased by these little spark things that move about the kind of patrol area. And if that thing in the middle touches the line that you're drawing, then you lose a life. It's addictive, but this one it's tough. This is a conversion of an early Activision game, which was released for the Atari 2600, Atari 8-bit, Commodore 64. Did ZX Spectrum get a version of this? I can't remember. Yeah, because of the low resolution with a lot of games like this one, they've got to really compact the sprites down, so they are a bit more blocky, but you know, that's to be expected. But it's all about retaining the essence and the gameplay and the feel of the game. And another Paul Hammond one, Robotron. Now, I don't think I was able to get the twin sticks working in this. No, I don't think I could. But again, they actually look like lemmings. Look at the wee guys that you're picking up there, lemmings, aren't they? Actually, just watching this back now, I really need to get the twin sticks working, because how cool would this be? This looks great and it plays so well. But as I mentioned earlier on, the beauty of this system is the fact that the games don't cost you anything. this is not a Paul Hammond one. Now there we go. This is an interesting one. I mean, R-Type is graphically a very pretty game, so this gives you an idea of kind of what the Pico-8 can actually do. And I think it does a pretty good job. Probably slightly more difficult than arcade, but then I find that I can get to the third level usually every time on the arcade, whereas home versions I find a bit more kind of troubling. Yeah, there's a lot more going on in this version, I think. But graphically, it's excellent. Bollocks. Oh, I'm going to struggle here, I think. But it's really true to the arcade one. Oh, balls. That is a great version. Right, this is based on the Atari 2600 version of Space Invaders. It's not great. You know what? It's still a bit of fun. It would be interesting to know how sort of easy it is to program for this thing. Yeah, alright, again, alright for free. Right, here we go. Star Wars. Now again, because of the sort of the vibrancy of the graphics, it kind of does look a bit like it's like running vector graphics. Obviously, this is not. It's I think we could say it's influenced by the Star Wars coin-op as opposed to being actually based in it. There's Darth Vader. You know what I would like to see in this, I don't see any reason why it couldn't be done, is Elite. I wonder if Elite is out for the Pico-8. And there's a game called Elite-ish, Eliteish, Elite-ish, and I don't know if it's been finished, whatever. These are going back to 2016. I'll need to check that out. Now this one is it's Star Fox, isn't it? This lets you. This is what I mean about. It's like an NES, a turbocharged NES. I mean, an NES could not do polygons like this, but the Pico-8 has got the benefit of having modern day processors and what have you, graphics cards, and it allows you to do stuff like this. But then you don't need a fast graphics card to run Pico-8. As I said, it runs on my little RGB 30. This is a version of, yep, as it says here, Stargate, which was the sequel, the spiritual successor to Defender. It's a great game, but like most Defender fans, they prefer the original Defender. Stargate is definitely a far more polished shoot 'em up. I mean, the original Defender did have some kind of flaws in it, but yeah, most people I think do prefer Defender. This is like an enhanced version of Defender. It's got extra things to shoot, what have you. I think it does play better, and this is a really nice version. And here's another arcade conversion of a sort of a 3D type game. This was Thunderhawk by Sega. This isn't a game that you hear many people talking about. It certainly doesn't get the same love as Space Harrier Outrun. It was kind of more sort of like a technical demo. Well, that's wrong to say a technical demo. I don't know, it did look nice, but there was something about Space Harrier. I think probably the music actually had a massive part of it. I think that had a massive influence in making Outrun still stand the test of time, the same as Space Harrier. Never ever played this in arcades. I played the Amiga version, which wasn't bad. But, you know, not every game is going to be, you know, a classic. Now this game is based on Wizard of War, which, if you don't know what it is, where have you been hiding these last 45 years? Wizard of War, it's a fantastic maze shoot 'em up. Think Pac-Man, but with guns and simultaneous two-player action where you can actually kill each other. There was an utterly brilliant version released in the Commodore 64. It was one of the first games I bought. I got it in cartridge. And yeah, this is a version for the Pico-8, and it's really good. Obviously it's limited to one player, I think. Why does it go? Oh wait, I wonder. Yeah, in fact, yeah, you probably could actually. Yeah, I mean, if you obviously you couldn't play a two-player version on a console, but you load this up in Windows, and I'm sure you could play the two-player version of it. But yeah, great, brilliant graphics, fast, fluent, great sound. And we will finish off with this classic Zookeeper. The idea being the animals are trying to escape from the zoo by knocking holes in the wall, and you've got to keep rebuilding the walls, and any mischievous animal that escapes, you've got to try and catch it in a net. It's actually really good fun to play this, and yeah, this plays really well. So this is the last game, folks. This is only a tiny selection of the games available for the Pico-8. Like I said, the ones I've picked today have all been kind of arcade conversions or conversions of home computer games. There are literally thousands of other games, original games and that as well. It's not going to be for everybody. If you like modern games, then you probably won't enjoy this. But for pick up and play, and just plain kind of, you know, classic games. You know, if you like pick up and play games that don't take all day, then and you want to have a lot of fun, then I suggest you go and check it out. Like I says, it's 15 quid for the Windows version, and you can play it on other systems as well. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to go and check, try and find Paul Hammond. And as always, folks, thank you very much for watching.